Hey guys, Plasticon here. We are going to be playing some World of Warcraft because that's what I feel like doing today. So I'm going to switch over here. I've been personally leveling a new human. Got her to level 38. Taking a bit of a break from the gold farming because it's kind of it can be fun, but it could also be taxing. So that's just something that I am currently doing right now. Don't know if I want to do this or if I want to hop on my alternate hunter, because I do have a hunter that I had been running around doing stuff on. Where is he at? I have so many characters, so many alts. Hey guys out there that play Warcraft, I'm sure you have like 20 alts. I mean, I do. I mean, I've got my main three, which are my main hunter, my mage, my death knight. This is pretty much an alt paladin I made. This is my alt death knight that I use. I primarily use her for gold farming, which I probably should check my auction house stuff to see what's sold. And I got my druid and my other alt warrior. Because I have plenty of warriors. I got Leroy, because you know Leroy's awesome. And then Barbarella, which is my my main warrior, I would say. And he's pretty much, on this server, I would say he's my main warlock. I do have my original ones, which are way down here. Let me go down here. Way back when I used to raid a whole lot. Here's Leroy. Those are the real devout shoulders, by the way. Those are not the dark moon fair things, any of that nonsense. Everything he's wearing there, he's actually wearing. It's real stuff. Same thing here with Arklon. These are real. By the way, this is, some people probably don't know this. This sword here is Raven Crest Legacy. This is not the Maldiv blade from Blackland Lair. So, he actually does have a Maldiv blade. Then you got my warlock. This is my second alternate hunter I made way back in vanilla, and she also has the real bow, the actual hunter bow. This one here didn't get everything that my my original hunter has, which is my dwarf hunter, but she has quite a bit of stuff. And then we've got my priest, which is pretty sad. She does have quite a bit of gear. I don't know if any of her tiers are 100% complete. I think I got pretty close to it, but I didn't actually finish those off. Here's Jasmine, my rogue. She's kind of a hodgepodge. I got her in her AQ gear because Encourage gear was the highest I could get at the time. And then we've got my Dwarven Shaman. This one is the only one I've ever done a race change on because I wanted the dwarf versus the Draenei I had. Now, Sulfurion that's in his hand, yeah, it's cool that I can actually have it at level 25. This is technically level 60 for vanilla. But what's funny is when I log into him, I'll log into him real quick for you guys and show you this. And this irritates me. It irritates me to just. This is the stupidest thing. It's annoying. It's taking a minute because it has to switch over to a different server because this is on Moonguard. I normally play on Suramar, but I'm also on Moonguard both. So, but Suramar is the one I'm on. And yes, I play Alliance. I don't play Horde, or rarely ever do. I have one horde, and I'm going to show them to you, that pretty much is one that I used quite a bit, but you'll see why he's like kind of capped off where he's at. There we go. If you notice, you can't see the hand of Superion on my dwarf. Why is this? Look at this. This is what irritates me. He's actually got it equipped, but it says I have to be level 30 to use this now. That's ridiculous. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I don't have any idea why this has happened. If anything, it's probably because of Battlegrounds. But, yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of this. It even shows it's like, you know, can't be used until it's repaired. It is repaired. It's at 145 out of 145. So it is repaired. This is some silly change they decided to do. I have to say probably during Dragonflight or something, because I don't understand it. And there's somebody that's a huge Yeti. Now that's funny. Tranquil Yeti costume. Awfully warm in here. I'm sure it is, dude. Considering you're in Ironforge. It's kind of warm in here all the time anyway. Yeah. That's my dwarf. Shaman. Which irritates me still. I won't ever take that weapon off. That weapon will stay in his hand. I don't care what they say. Then we've got my druid. This is my main druid from back then. During Cataclysm, I decided to level Worgen, so we ran AQ a lot. And I got the full AQ set, including the staff that you actually have to turn into Elementium to get, which is cool. Here's one Horde character I have, and you can tell he's got PvP gear. And Encourage, this I think is from AQ 20. They want to call it AQ 10 now. Don't get me started on the changes for the vanilla raids, it's silly. But on retail, this is my my Horde Undead that I leveled up to the highest level just to PvP with. And I never really get any titles or anything, but he's pretty good. But I don't really play Horde that much, so. And the rest of these are just kind of also just kind of created throughout the years. It's kind of messed with. I'm still trying to level this character here. There's certain ones that it's kind of a game I do. I play my characters as a certain spec, and I leave them in that spec. I don't swap specs. Even my main is Marksman. Back in the day, I did do Beast Mastery, but when they got rid of the hybrid stuff, I primarily just did Marks. So I just stuck with the Marksman thing. I've always been an Arcane Mage, and that's never changed. I've always been a Blood Death Knight. I have 2 Blood Death Knights. I don't actually have a Frost Death Knight. The only Death Knight I made was a Unholy, which I think is cool. It's different. I know it's not like high DPS. And here is my other Death Knight, which I can't tell which realm this one's on. Anyway, this is more than likely I probably made Frost, but I haven't logged on this character in ages. I don't even know if this is a gear he's actually wearing. I tend to do funny stuff sometimes. But yeah, I just want to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about the characters I have, because you guys are probably curious. But anyway, let's go ahead and log in here and let me check my auction house stuff. Because lately, what I've been doing is I've just been running raids and auctioning any of the crafting materials I get. Mainly because I'm just trying to get gold to get my full tier 3 on my hunter. once I get that, I plan on working on my Paladins tier 3, and then I'm probably going to work on my Warlock. Because those are the 3 tiers I really did like out of tier 3. I know a lot of everybody's all like, why not Dreadnought? Because everybody goes after the Warrior tier. I'm not one of those guys. I never have been. But anyway, I've always been one of those kind of guys that went against the grain with a lot of stuff. Since the game isn't as social as it used to be, I play, I primarily will just like queue for something, run whatever dungeon is, whatever raid, and then move on to other stuff throughout the day. If I'm playing, I don't normally play for crazy amount of hours as I used to. I'd get up and it's like most of my stuff's sold. Well, looks like everything's sold. Cool. Alright, well, here we go. Let's see how much gold I get off of this. I made 813 gold, which isn't bad. That's just off of crafting mats and garbage I find in instances, so people want it, and they can have it. Give me gold, and I need it. Just need it because I'm trying to get my tier 3, because I can farm Max Ramus pretty much. I can at least do Max Ramus probably at least 10 times or more a week. This character I think's already locked out to it, yeah. You know what? We're actually going to go probably... Well, let's go do old Scolomance in Statholme. And I'm going to do this on my mage, just because it'd be fun. Actually, you know what? No. We're going to take my paladin. You know what? My paladin's got a lot of bag space. You can pick up a bunch of stuff to sell. Let's do that. This is kind of how I play. I don't really stick to certain plans like I used to. Years ago, when I play the game, I'd pop on and I'd get like whispers out the rear end. What are we doing today? How are we doing this? Whatever, because my guild was very active. But now, everybody uses stuff like Discord. I don't even know how to use Discord. It's probably really easy. I just didn't care to do that. Since we're going to head out that way. You know what? On Paladin, why don't I do this? Let me do the... I know there's a toy or a spell or something that sends me to Light's Hope. I forget what it's called. Somebody out there is probably yelling at me right now in the comments. It's called this. Why don't you know this? You've got all this stuff. You did all these legendaries and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, you know, I don't remember everything. I'm old. Forgive me for that. Yeah, I don't see that. Might not be a spell. I just thought it was. I'll just use a dollar on Hearthstone and then just use the thing to pull there, whatever. Because I know there's a way to get out there, but that's okay. I'll just go through a couple load screens here and then we'll head over to Scolomance and then we'll do Statholme. But years ago I used to hop on and I'd have plenty of people that would message me. By the way, water's good for you. Drink water. You don't want to be drinking soda. You don't need these power drinks. Water's the best thing you can do for your body. Also, if you're really hungry, you're probably thirsty. Just a heads up there. You're not really hungry. You're just thirsty. done around here. Seems to be hopping right now. A bunch of AFKers, it looked like, just standing there when I zoomed in. So I'll just take the portal over here. Oh no, more load screens. Oh gosh. Whatever. I don't care. Load screen's a load screen. Let's head out to the Blacklands. This is what we're gonna do. I always thought it was funny when you're in here and you got this bar that comes up for whatever class hall you're in, and it covers like all your spells and over here on the side. I never understood why with this popped up if they didn't just push these down far enough. Now some people like, oh well, you can fix that by going in and mess with your interface, but I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. It should automatically do that. I shouldn't have to do that. That's just me. I have some mail. I don't know what it is. Oh, recovered items of stuff that I don't need. I have those pets already. This is what happens when you run things consistently. But looks like I have quite a bit of items here I can probably put on the auction house. The only thing I won't put on there will be my war-torn scraps. Those are expensive. Anyway, like I said, this is an alt paladin I'm on. This is Dwarf. You can give him a title, yes. I called him Crusader Dwarf. So I took my Dungeon 2 and mixed it with the purple Judgment gear for the shoulders, the shield from Black Temple, and this sword, by the way, is actually from the time rifts that they were doing in Dragonflight. I got that sword, which I think looks really good with it, and then we got the helmet here that came from the trading post. I think this whole set actually looks really good together. Probably one of the coolest looking transmons I've come up with, and it makes him look like an evil paladin, because I wanted him to be a dark paladin. I always wanted paladins that wielded void energy versus light. That's just me. Kind of weird about that sometimes. But anyway, back in the day, this is how we used to get into Statholme, or Scolomance, but it required a key. And in order to open this door, if you didn't have the key, you had to click on this little torch here that moves. It's kind of funny. But the way they brought old Scolomance in here, which is something I would love to see them do with every old instance, including Dead Mines, including the back door to Karazhan, all the stuff that they kind of messed up, like Upper Blackrock Spire. They need to either A, create a whole new instance portal, or just make it so that way when you zone in, you just click on which version you want, much like you do like your difficulties and such. It should be on, shouldn't say normal, maybe it should say classic, normal, heroic, and mythic or something, so that way you can still zone in. But it's kind of cool that they moved the entrance to old Scolomance to this little book, which is kind of cool. Doing the storyline to unlock all this was kind of neat. But I think, like, when you have people that are playing this game now, I'm going to enter the instance here. Yes, I do have an add-on that actually does this, and sometimes I have NPCs that talk. It's kind of cool. It's a nice little add-on. I forget which one it is, but it's pretty cool. But I really wish they would kind of layer the game so that way if somebody's brand new to this game, because think about this, guys. This game's 20 years old. A lot of people have never played this game. And if they're 8 or 9 years old, they're just getting into it, they're getting thrown into Cataclysm, which is literally like in the middle of all the expansions. People don't know who Arthas is. People don't know any of the old lore at all, unless they go and look up some YouTube video about it. That shouldn't be there. It should actually be an entire game. It should still be available. People are like, we'll go play Classic. And I'm like, these people probably won't have the patience to go through Classic, because the people who are playing Classic are your OG game players like myself. They have the patience to do it. Kids are impatient nowadays and want to bust through something quick. Well, that's not what they're going to get. So, but anyway, I am going to kill everything in this room because I'll go. And I know I can get gold doing dailies, stuff like that, which I can, but I don't care to. I always love the old Scolomance though, because you had the succubuses in here, which back in the day, this was a raid. It wasn't just a 5-man instance. It did take quite a few people. If you notice, a lot of the models in here are the older models, which are cool because I personally think the older models look cooler, like the skeletal guys that are in here and such. I was always a bigger fan of that. I wish there was a thing done with Nax. I kind of wish they would have made it so you can toggle your little thing here for your Empowered Argent Commission. If it was on, maybe give you the old models that were in the original Nax when you run it, instead of the newer one, so we can still have those in there. But yeah, it used to be like a 10 to 15 man instance back in the day, and it did take quite a few people to do this. But I remember very, like at the very beginning of the game, I had two good friends of mine, and one guy went by Asgard, and the other guy was named Sigmar. And they were both primarily PvP paladins back then. And they just got tired of PvPing because they had the titles, they had all the, you know, the High Warlord gear and all this stuff. And they were like, hey, we want to raid. So I found out they literally were running Statholme and Scolomance, literally just the two of them soloing it, which was insane back then, because one of them was a tank, the other one was a healer, and it was crazy. By the way, this is the old model for the skeletons. They're a little more enhanced, I'd say, but it is closer to the old model than anything. But anyway, I think I actually have a... Do I not? Yep, I do. I actually have a bloody instance already on me, so I can go do this boss real quick before we go any further. Back in the day, you loot this, and I'll show you the guy you actually loot it off of. It's called Blood Innocence. You have to have this to do this. You got the Howl, then you're going to have this gargoyle come after you. He should be coming out here somewhere. Oh, there he is. But anyway, it used to take like 10 people to do this, 10 to 15, and back when I ran my guild, we would literally do that. We would bring people in here that were geared and ready to go. Hey, got me a Scourge Stone. These Invader Scourge Stones are for, you either turn them into the Goblin and Next Remus or Argent Dawn. And you can get patterns, and that's how you get your tier 3 actually now, which is cool. I'm glad they actually brought this back into the game. Probably one of my favorite things that they've done is a pattern. It's sometimes so good in my money. But used to run our guild through this thing consistently. We would come in here, run it, and then go out and reset it. We did it until it got lockout, and then that's when it became the during the 5-man days. Before it was a daily reset, mainly because it was a raid. And you were able to get bits and pieces of what's called Dungeon 1 out of here. Dungeon 1 is the first 8-man, or not 8-man, first 8-piece tier that came out back in the day that allowed you to have set bonuses. So when you wore it, it gave you like more health, armor, or whatever. Like in this case, I can't look at it on this character because I actually don't have the real stuff on. But if I was on my alternate palette, I'd be able to show you exactly what the Paladin set did. Because it was a set for everybody. I think it's funny how these guys don't actually die. He's like glitched out, spinning around on the floor. Like, dude, you gotta get up and stop having a seizure. I could kill him. But yeah, it's kind of funny how some of these NPCs kind of glitch like that sometimes. But this is part of the charm of the game, is the fact that this game's got so many things you can do in it. There's reputation gains you can do, especially like if you don't have the expansion right now, if you're playing. I mean, there's so many things you can still do in this game. You don't have to have the newest expansion yet. It's nice to have it. It'll give you more stuff to do. I mean, believe me, I'll be able to make more gold that way later on. It's a stinky zombie because, you know, he had a green stuff coming off of it. Kind of funny. No, it was stinky there for a second because I walked in it, but yeah. Yeah, I just enjoy playing the game and just casually running through dungeons and raids and finding some cool stuff to do. This lady here, back in the day, used to be a real pain in the butt because she splits into like several. She like mirror images herself or something. Nope. Wonder if she's gonna do it. Try to get her to do it. Oh, there we go. Look how many there are. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Just drop a concentration. It's funny because she's already dead. These are just her mirror images that you can't kill. They just have to like disappear after a bit. So what we would do is cut these around the room while we beat on the boss. And then they usually disappear. And by the way, this book gives you a bag if you're a tailor. So, if you're a tailor, there you go. You can get a pattern from there. There's a little torch on the wall here. You click it, and I'll show you what room that just opened, because that actually opens a secret room. Or I should say a way to get into a chest. Because, you know, chests are good in this game. Because sometimes you never know what you're going to get out of there. I'm not sure if we'll be able to run this entire thing by looting everything that's starting to run out of bag space. Oh, we'll find out. If I keep picking up the same stuff, it'll be okay. This room here used to be a real pain. Because I remember running this place, we would have one of our tanks just run in and gather up whatever whelps we could. Because these whelps used to give off an aura that would hurt like mad. So yeah, we would pretty much kind of pull just a few at a time. Slow pulls, but hey, good work. But then you got these NPCs that will blast you around with their knockback abilities. And these actually fall down into the lower room. I'm going to go around the appropriate way. And sometimes we get knocked down there. And if you got knocked down there, it was bad juju. So we normally just pulled everything out to the room before to try to keep us from getting pulled off in there to fall into this mess. Because these guys back in the day were no joke. It doesn't look like there's very many in here, but yeah, these guys used to hit like a truck. If you had a tank, you might be able to pull 2 or 3. You wouldn't want any more than that because it would tear through your health. You have Razor Gore up here though. Or sorry, Rattle Gore, not Razor Gore. He's the actual boss. I'm pulling the entire room because I can, obviously, because I'm max level. But back in the day, this was a huge no-no. You couldn't get away with this. You would have been dead by the time you pulled the whole room. If you're a paladin, you could bubble into it, but it wouldn't last long. I've seen people way back in the day that would get angry. They would bubble hearth, and this is the room they would do that in. Especially if they were trying to get their paladin mount, because the paladin mount, this is the last place you come for the paladin mount in order to get it. They're not and the viewing room key. Let's see here. You need the viewing room key in order to enter the other area, so you do have to come down here and kill this guy. You can't. He's a non-skippable boss unless you plan on not finishing the instance. But I'm glad that they brought all this back because the new Scolomance is nothing like this. It is like so half of what this is. Like it's not even half. It's not even close to the size of this one. Because this place actually has a lot going on in it. And this was considered, a fairly long dungeon back in the day. I'm going to hold them again because that's what I like doing. Also run through this a lot faster too. My alt paladin actually has Questar, which is the paladin sword that you got from doing a quest line. In Dire Maul, there was this book that you get, and this book would allow you to start this quest line to get a special sword. It was for warrior and paladin only. It's now just a drop in the Nixia raid, but before you actually had to do a quest line with it, and it was connected to the Nixia raid where you had to take this portion of a blade and stab the dragon with it and bring it back, and then they turn into it. The torch I used, though, opened up this room here I'm currently in. This little room here that had the chest. And you normally come in here, you can't come in here unless you've clicked that torch from that one previous room. So. And this is where the viewing room key comes in handy, because this is how you get in here. I always like to come up here and attack these two guys, because these guys are kind of mini bosses. They sometimes drop stuff, sometimes they don't. Usually when you do this, the whole room, they're going to get aggroed and pull, which is funny. Back in the day we used to do that. We would come up here and literally just pull the whole room that way. I have a couple that might reset. Yeah, I didn't get anything really off of them other than Scourge Stones. So if you're after Scourge Stones, there's a couple of extra Scourge Stones you can get from killing those guys. They each drop one. And I just realized I probably should have brought my mage in here, because I could have shown you the bonus boss. Because I don't have my brazier on this character. This character was much newer. I think I made this one during Dragonflight or something, because I was just like, I want another paladin that I can farm on, so that's why I did that. Plus my other paladin, my main paladin I had, I didn't want to take my original Leroy and level him. All those ones that are locked into like the level 60 stuff are actually locked at that level. I turned the XP completely off on them because I did not want them to level. It's just because it's a nostalgia bottle for me. I like playing nostalgia bottles. Anyway. I would place the brazier about right here, and you would have a ogre up here. And the ogre was a second boss in this room. But you have to have the brazier of invocation to do that. If you have anybody out there on the... I mean, if anybody's out there that can actually probably summon it for you, if you ask around if anybody has one. But in order to get your Iron Leaf tier set, which is basically I'd say it's pretty much a Dungeon 1 tier set for priests. It was primarily a really, really good set because it had high armor. There's a lot of people that used Ironweed back in the day. It's an 8-piece tier. Currently, the only thing you cannot get from the tier is the boots. The boots drop off of Beast, which was in the old Upper Blackrock Spire. Okay, so what's different about the new Statholme versus the old one here? If you notice, the Grandmaster guy is not down there because, well, he doesn't come up till after you get done killing everything here. There are 6 rooms total here that have mobs in them and a little mini boss. And this guy over here, Mr. Lorekeeper, is the mini boss in this room. And these guys have a chance to drop blues. The chance drop in here is really, really, really low. Trying to get full sets of Cadaver or the Deathbone gear, really hard to do. It's still not an easy thing to get. And I got Deathbone gauntlets actually drop off of him, which is kind of surprising. Which I actually think I have a set of Deathbone sitting in my bank for this character because I like to hang on to some older pieces. It's primarily like a collection type of thing. It's kind of how I can reminisce with a lot of the older stuff. Now, this guy here, Mr. Dr. Kirzvos, or how the heck you want to say his name? Krasnov. Yeah, Krasnov. This guy was probably one of the hardest bosses in this dungeon back in the day because this guy had a cleave that really hurt. I mean, it's a joke nowadays because, you know, you can just run through this stuff on a high-level character, but if you try to bring an appropriate geared character in, you're probably going to get one shot, especially where the mechanics are now. I always thought it was funny because it says the doctor's in. Blizzard never not has some kind of reference. There's another Blood of Innocence. This is the guy that dropped the thing for the Gargoyle boss. And look, I got Necropile shoulders, which are the cloth shoulders. So what this place pretty much drops for off tiers is leather, mail, plate, and cloth. And they're offsets. They give you different kind of bonuses. You look at the Necropile, the high thing gives you like plus 10 in intellect. If you look at the Deathbone, it gives you, increase your parry by 9. Some of those things don't even actually apply to what's going on now because this is all completely different. Before, there was literally a said parry, you know, whatever your skills were locked onto your characters. Nowadays, it's like almost like a percentage thing here, and then these numbers, it's kind of the way it used to be, but not really. If you guys have ever played Classic a while, you understand what I'm talking about when it comes to the numbers. Okay, now we got the instructor. She has always been kind of not a hard boss. She really wasn't that difficult. I would say her mobs in here were probably harder to deal with than she was. Smack you in the head. And her dress that she's wearing, by the way, is actually the dress you get from the ancient patterns from Nexus. So that dress is attainable. Wow, actually I could Cadaver's drop. It's been kind of a lucky run. I'm lucky sometimes if I see 1 or 2 pieces of gear. So, kind of crazy. And this is only the top level, by the way. This is the 3 bosses there. That's nuts that I've gotten peace off every one of them, because there's times I don't get anything at all. So, but my RNG is kind of crazy. Now if you look at these guys here, this is the way the old mages used to look, like the old bone mages. They're a lot different now. Like even in the new Nax, they don't look like this at all. This is what they used to look like. Like if you run this place, oh, forgot to mention we have Lady Barov here. And see, nothing. I got nothing but Scourge Stones off her. And some Essence of Undeath, which sometimes sells for okay amount of money. But yeah, it's kind of cool seeing some of the older models in here. And these guys here used to be guys they'd have running around in Nax too. Like a lot of your Death Knights and stuff, this is what they used to look like. They weren't the newer versions with all in robes and such. Same thing with this guy here. He's probably the closest to one of the older Death Knights you're going to see in the vanilla version of Nax. He looked a lot like this guy. The shoulders would be a little different though on some of them, because it had like these kind of spiky things that stick up. And those spiky things is pretty much the same model of the shaman shoulders for Horde. So I think it's kind of crazy how they changed the models in the new Nax, but I understand they were doing it because they were, you know, just doing something to be kind of interesting. I thought it was funny, this dude's like throwing his head around, like, what the heck? Are you really that angry or crazy? You're cracking me up. Do it again. I want to see him throw his head around. Oh, never mind. Got too close. Wow. Okay, I got the one-handed hammer drop. Interesting. It's been an interesting run this time. I don't normally get this lucky on stuff. But, as you can see, you know, running this place, it's a very relaxed thing to do. And then we got this abomination guy. And then all these little risen skeletons, because they're funny. I always thought these guys were funny. They just kind of, they're just like, I'm smacking you, I'm trying to backhand you. There's just a charm to this. And I think it's kind of great that they actually never changed these guys' looks. So, see? Absolutely nothing. Now the instructor showed up. Mr. Dark Master. And it's funny because he's wearing pretty much what you get out of the current Nax. version of the tier, except for the helmet. And I've always wanted these helmets. I don't know why Blizz never put these helmets in the game, but we really need to get that, considering you can wear everything but the helmet he's got. But then again, I guess you have to keep NPCs have, you know, unique things you can't get in game, which is fine. And you drop just a chest piece. Sometimes this guy drops a pattern. There's an epic pattern that drops out of there, but it's for priests only. It's a priest only chest piece. It's a kind of a white robe with black drapes. It's kind of cool. But that's been our run through Scolomance. Let's see here. Going to probably hearth here real quick, and then throw some stuff up on the auction house. Use my hearth, my spooky Headless Horseman Hearthstone because it's amazing. I love it. The spooky season's upon us, by the way, so I'm very happy about that. And October is my favorite month of the year. I'm not one of those kind of people. I'm not into Christmas. It's what it is for Christmas. It's great, but you know, I think it's overplayed. It's way overplayed. Sorry, Halloween's where it's at. Always has been. But let's see. I'm going to sell some soul-bound stuff.
Hi, how are you?
And then I'll put some stuff on the auction house, and then I normally just sell the grays because sometimes they give you looks now, which is kind of cool. I actually am glad that they started doing that, where they allow you to run anything really now to get looks that you don't have. Something I think that the game had been missing for some time, considering there's a lot of people that run things over and over and over again, and something will drop on a character, they're like, oh my gosh, I needed that on this character, or whatever, you know. But, let's see here, I got these little scourge stones, I'll use here for now. Alright, let's see. I'm going to try to put some of this stuff on the auction house real quick and sell this stuff. And I'm lazy how I do the auction house, so don't expect anything miraculous here. I didn't make very much gold on this one, by the way, but that's okay. I'm into this stuff mainly just for the fun of it when it comes to a lot of the like dungeons like these. And then sometimes I'll just create an auction, throw it up there, create an auction, and let people just, you know, buy it. I can't auction house a lockbox as much as I'd like to, because people would, that'd be like a real gamble. Let's see here. Sometimes the stuff's listed and sometimes it's not. If it isn't listed, whatever, I will see what I get out of it. I'll put it up there, and if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't sell usually the first time around, I'll just vendor it. Because to me, it's really no point in putting certain things up there a billion times, because then all at that point you're doing is just losing gold. That's just how I do the auction house. Not everybody does this the same way. Do this real quick here and put some materials up, because reagents usually sell pretty well, especially if you have multiple. I know some people are like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Nah, this is how I play, because it's been fun. That's what matters. This is how I deal with depression and anxiety. I play a game, and I try not to let it stress me out. Because I used to be one of those in-game stressor, or in-game raiders at one time, but it's got tiring just dealing with that all the time, dealing with all the drama and all that, which is one thing I'm kind of happy about that we have in the game now, is where you can actually queue for LFR and all that, because people don't,
Alright, then.
people normally do not play like they used to. Like, guilds are not as tight-knit as they used to be. It's just one thing I've noticed throughout the years. And I normally will dump my scraps, and I'll usually just collect all my
Farewell.
scourge stones and put them in there. But anyway, this has been a run through Statholme. Oh, sorry, not Statholme, Scolomance. And let's, I don't know, let's go do yeah. Let's run Statholme. Because I like running that place too. It's always fun. Taking a minute here to load. And some people are like, well, why don't you Twitch this stuff? I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what, I just don't know if I can actually commit to a schedule for that kind of thing, considering I'm busy doing other stuff. And when it comes to video games, I try to block out a X amount of time for doing video games. I just took the wrong portal. As many years as I played this, I even mess up. I wasted a Hearthstone. I should have just went here and clicked on this. You guys are probably, what the heck is he doing? And that's probably the wrong one, isn't it? It is the wrong one. Oops. All I do now is laugh at myself. You know what? There's a shortcut. I know it'll work. And you'll get these Statholme pretty quickly. And something you guys probably don't know, if you haven't done it yet. So if you take the portal to Lich King, Dalaran, where it's over Northrend Dalaran, and you go into Nax. You don't have to run Nax if you don't want to. I mean, I think I've ran Nax on this character already. Yes, I have. See, it's complete. But if you haven't ran Nax, chance for you to run Nax is there. But there's a bit of a cheat here for you. Especially if you're like me right now where you don't want, none of my Hearthstones are up. I'll just zone into the raid. And then if you take this portal right here, this will literally take you to Plaguelands. So you can really bounce between both places. So if you're in Plaguelands and you go to Nax and you're like, I want to just go to Dalaran, you can do the same thing. You can go back the other way. You'll see this little crystal here after you've done the quest line live, so you let you enter Naxxramas. But what I'm going to do is do a little Scolomance. Oh, not Scolomance, Statholme. Good grief. I get all this mixed up in my brain sometimes. Sorry about that. Anyway, gonna do a run of Statholme, which this used to be really hard to do, by the way. But back in the day, this was also another like 10-15 man raid. I'm just going to pull everything here, but these guys here used to hit pretty hard back in the day, and as you see, all these kind of like undead guys, a lot of these guys are the same mobs you would get out of some of these were actually in Naxxramas back in the day too. Where are you going? Just hopping along there, buddy. So I like to run through here and just grab everything because it's fun. They're all going to sit there and pew pew at me. It's kind of fun. Make some gold. Get some stuff. What's funny is back in the day, if you had paladins is what you really needed for this in a sense, because there was a disease that the plague ghouls in here, these guys, would actually hit people with a disease, and this disease was only curable by paladins, and it was like a 5-minute thing, and it literally would just eat away at your life. It just literally deteriorated and took life away, kind of like a lifesteal, and it would literally kill your team if you didn't have any way to cleanse that. So you always had to have a paladin back in the day for this. I don't know how Horde did it, considering it was a, I think shamans had some kind of cleanse or something back then, so I don't know. I never played Horde back then, so I don't know what the, what their side would look like. Got this guy here, just smack him in the head. He didn't drop anything. So I'm going to open up the mailbox here. Take the mail. He's going to come out yelling, "Don't steal the mail!" I'm going to kill him anyway. So, no tampering with the mail. But back in the day, you actually had to pick up mailbox keys off of all the mobs in here. Would actually drop mailbox keys, so that way you can open up the mailboxes. If you didn't have a mailbox key, you couldn't do this boss. It's a bonus boss, that's what it is. You have to do this at least 3 times. So you have the undead postmen. They're all mad at me because I stole the mail. Now this gate here will actually close on me. So what I do in order to get by it is I will just mount. That way the gate doesn't close on me and get me stuck in with all these rats. Back in the day, this would actually kill your raid if you weren't careful. You'd actually want to bring your entire group in here. What's funny is you can't even attack these guys when the gate's down at all. That happened several times right here, by the way. Alright, so we're going to do what's called the dead side. Oh, sorry, undead side. That's where the cathedral is. And the Scarlet Crusade. Because, you know, those guys were really honorable. Not really. Killed a lot of their own kind. Kind of like the, it was just basically a witch hunt. That's what it was with them. You guys are all about South Park, right? Well, here's your reference. Timmy the Cruel. He's gonna scream out, "Timmy!" And he dropped his handpiece, or his mace twice. And these guys are undead now. It used to be called live side because these guys used to be actual alive. They used to not be dead. According to the storyline, they basically were corrupted later on. But it's nothing like it used to be, that's for sure. PP bang bangs. Doing a circular hammer thing's kind of funny. I don't like to leave any mobs behind. I think they feel lonely if they're left behind. So. Gonna go here and enter the cathedral and cleanse the cathedral of all the undead. What's left of the Scarlet Crusade, because they are, you know, insane. Righteous orbs. Those come in handy. You actually need those to get your tier 3 by the way. So if you don't have any of those, this is where you want to farm those. You want to do live side for tier 3. Now what's funny here is you got a chest. You open up this chest, and you get 1 copper. Literally 1 copper in there. I always thought that was hilarious. Okay, this is 2 copper. So there's 2 cents versus 1 cent. Now, if you're a blacksmith, you click on this scroll, and usually it'll let you loot an item. But it brings up this guy here that already died because he hit my concentration, but this hammersmith, he drops a pattern. So that way you can actually have another pattern to add to your blacksmithing stuff. Like I said, back in the day, we used to run this a lot. We would literally just go out and reset this instance. Same thing with Scolomance over and over again because your Dungeon 1 items dropped in here. Mr. Willie, the Hope Breaker. I mean, he dropped the cannonball runner twice. That's hilarious. It's kind of funny because it like summons like a little cannon that shoots. Some of these trinkety items were useful sometimes in certain situations. Some of them were just kind of a funny thing that they would do. Some people would use them just kind of as a gag thing as they're running something to kind of keep things fun. By the way, I did not mention this. In order to get in this area, back in vanilla, you actually had to have a Scarlet key, which you get from doing Scarlet Monastery. So, if you didn't have the Scarlet key, you weren't getting in the cathedral on live side. So, this is definitely one of those things you had to have back then, which was something that people tend to forget about. This is also a place that has a bonus boss in it that you can only do if you had a reserve invocation. So, let's see here. I'm gonna finish this here. Get this hallway here cleared out. Alright, so we got our boss right here. Sometimes drops the orb. Yeah, he did. Dropped one this time. And if you're doing your quests and such, there is a book in here you can read that's about the Scourge of Lordaeron. This painting here is what you click on in order to get that quest completed if you're doing the quests that the NPCs give you here. And here's Mr. Balthazar. This guy here is the guy that was basically deceiving the Scarlet Crusade, so he's like the big bad. You can drop demon shooter tires too. And if you're doing those quests on this side, at the very beginning, the NPCs will walk in here and you're able to go turn your quests in there. It's a good way to go back and get extra loot, killing all these undead. Because we're only halfway done with this dungeon, by the way. This is one of the bigger dungeons. The biggest dungeon is Blackrock Depths, which I'll do a video of that one soon. I figure I'd use Statholme and Scolomance in the same one because I just think it'd be fun. Definitely into running a lot of these older dungeons and showing you guys some of the stuff and telling you a few of the stories about some of the stuff. And it looks like I've got a lot of people buying auction house items, so that's a good thing. Back out. So we're going to go do what's called the dead side of Statholme. Statholme is pretty much a city that was a lot like wow, I have an abomination out here actually. A lot like Stormwind. Not quite as big, but pretty good size. Okay, so now we're going to go up this direction. Now sometimes there's a rare that will spawn, and he will sometimes spawn right in this area here. But he's not here, so we're going to find out where he's going to spawn elsewhere. That's sometimes what happens. Since I've completed that part of the instance, we have a lot of the Argent Dawn out, or Argent Crusade, I should say, out here. And everything. And you probably won't know why these crates are sparkling. They are things with holy water. Statholme holy water. Alright, this is going to summon my last boss. Or not last boss, but last guy for the mailbox boss is the postmaster. This guy here will drop what's called the postmaster's gear, which is a 5-piece tier. And he also drops a mace and sometimes a ring. He dropped the mace this time. It would be nice to see him drop the postmaster gear. I actually have that set on my mage. This is a boss that just appears out of here. Wow, look at that. I just got a world drop. That's cool. The Ring of Saviors. Love when I get world drops like that. Those are nice. Those usually sell pretty good too. Especially if it's an epic. Some people still build twinks. So they can run around and kill things quickly. That's pretty much what a twink is. It's a character designed for just running stuff that's overpowered and over-geared for its level. So, some people used to do it in Battlegrounds all the time. But they probably still do at this day and age. Kill everything. Why? Because gold and stuffs. These guys here and kill them. And ooh, we got Blight that dropped, which is a blacksmithing clan. I'm actually a blacksmith on this character, but I already have Blight on a different character, so usually what I do is I just auction house that stuff. Spectral Citizens, I usually kill them too, because, you know, we give them stuff. they're neutral. They won't actually attack you unless you attack them. And we'll come back over here, make sure I don't miss anything, because this is right at the very beginning. Oh, a solid chest. I didn't see this chest before, but there we go. Missed a citizen. I missed another one. If you guys notice, this is right at the very beginning of the instance. This place does like a huge circle, which is cool. But that is what's considered the live side of Statholme, this whole area. Because when people say live side and dead side, this is live side where the cathedral is. Here's the rare I was telling you about. This guy here will drop a piccolo usually that is a flute. And then this time you drop, pants. A flute that drops off there is a toy. That way you can make everybody dance around you, which is funny. Now for in here, if you're coming in from this side, my recommendation, so Magistrate doesn't run off, I usually run in here as fast as I can and I hit him. And then I'll pull the whole room. If you're gold for me like that. Now if you're doing actual leveling with other people, I don't suggest doing that. Because he will run off, but you will be able to catch him later on, further in the raid. And I got a key to the city, which is what you used to have in order to open up this gate. You don't need it anymore, it's not a necessity. It's kind of funny that it still drops. And since I've done the mailbox boss, none of these mailboxes are clickable now. So once you've done 3, you've done them all. If you guys are coming in here though, don't forget to get your quests in here. I mean, I haven't done these quests yet, so that's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and put these up and do these since again. I haven't done it on this side, I guess, on this character.
I'm doing all I can to retain my sanity from that noise with this barrier. My best guess is that the Banshees are maintaining.
He's got at least 2 quests, so I mean, if you're in here questing, it's going to give you a lot of quests. So it's going to need me to just kill a black guard swordsman, which also drops a he drops the pattern is for blacksmithing. I know I killed the audio, by the way, that you probably were hearing from the NPCs that were talking because I buzzed through it so quick. I'll probably end up doing some more stuff that's a little more in depth with that add-on later. This right here is literally called the Gauntlet for a reason, because back in the day this used to be the hardest area of this entire dungeon, because this whole area was so, I mean, you can obviously tell there's mobs everywhere. So got my Banshee essence. This is what I consider fun. It's relaxing. I don't have to worry about any kind of drama. I get to make gold. Sometimes I'll occasionally pick something up that I don't have. It's just fun. This guy here, he dropped just the boots, it looks like. Now I'm probably going to end up running out of space when it comes to some of the stuff, so I'm ended up just deleting some items so I can have more room for the other items that will actually give me gold. And you have to come in here and kill the boss and all the ads that are in here in order to open up what's called the slaughterhouse. There's 3 of these Argonauts in here. So I usually just come down here, kill the spider boss, and then come around over here and start working on the Banshee area. Kill stuff that far away. That's not a gargoyle. Alright, so one of the quests asks you to summon this blackguard dude. Trying to get this plans and kill him, and then there you go. That quest there's done. And by the way, I've got all the Banshee essence because those are really easy to get. This is another one of the bosses. She used to fear you a lot, and it was bad. It was really, really bad. If you didn't clear out that entire area that was just in, it'd be a wipe if you went and pulled the boss. There's not many people would actually be able to survive that mess. Unless you actually had a really good team that could handle pulling mobs and the boss at the same time. Trying to kill everything because they got gold. The dwarf we expect. Want the gold. Now some of you guys probably wondered why I play Alliance versus Horde. Well, it's because dwarves. That's why. I have played dwarves in every RPG I've ever played. And even when I was playing D&D back in the day with tabletop, there's dwarves. Always dwarves. Never not. There used to be a rare gargoyle that would fly around in here, and I have not seen one of those in ages. What was in with it? Gorehowl or something. Gorehowl's the axe. Grave Howler, maybe. I forget what it is called. Anyway, he was a rare that used to spawn in here, and I have not seen that guy in ages. I ran this place several times on my mage recently, just to run this place and get a bunch of Scourge Stones. You know, Mr. Plaid here. He's our next one. It's Unholy Enchant. A lot of greaves and foot wraps. So, 2 different things here. This is the last one to clear for the slaughterhouse. Because you can't get access to the last boss unless you've done all these. I'm a huge fan of like the undead stuff in this game. I always have been. Probably why I deal stuff with like Nex Ramus and such. I'm also a big fan of the bug raid, which is Entourage. Oh, inventory's full. Well, I have, I can throw out holy stones. Those aren't going to fetch much. Oh, living are here. Oh no. INX Ramus used to spawn, and those used to be really bad juju back in the day, if you had to deal with them. These piece of spider stuff isn't worth anything. Yeah, I don't normally hang on to potions either, because those are just kind of not necessary, especially on this character. And they don't really sell for anything anyway. Same thing with Morning Glory Dew, that doesn't sell at all either, because everybody can do whatever they want. Essence of Undeath. I picked up one more spider. Jump across, bleeding, isn't it? See, I run out of space on this character pretty quick. If I'm doing this on my Death Knight, she doesn't run out of space at all. Like, she's got plenty of space for this kind of stuff. She has pretty close to 200 slots, so it's really hard to fill that up. I ran Black Temple last night on her, and I was like, holy cow, I can actually run the instance without having to sell anything. It was just kind of crazy, because most of the time if I'm in Black Temple, I have to sell stuff, because there's a lot of trash that drops in there. The thing is, there's some really good items in there that drop that a lot of people need, like the gems, and just other crafting items. Now see, if I didn't pull the boss at the very beginning when I entered that one room, he would actually just run and just be back here. So this is where he would be. So we're now entering what's called Slaughter Square, which is pretty much a slaughterhouse. And obviously it's called out for obvious reasons with all these abominations. In the back of the day, you would pull maybe one or two of these guys at once, but that's about it. You wouldn't want to pull any more than that, because these guys were pretty much some of the hardest mobs to kill in the dungeon, because they did hit extremely hard. If you pulled two, you're taking on quite a bit, put it that way. If you only had 5 people back in the day, you pulled one. You did not pull 2. These abomination stitchings, by the way, that dropped, those were actually for a blacksmithing thing way back in the day, for like a blacksmithing quest type of thing, to get a special chest piece. And you can only get them from them, and this boss here would drop one as well. It's kind of great that they still drop. See, now I've got a full inventory and a bunch of stuff here I'm going to pick up. Let's see here, I'll get rid of this bow. That bow. This great axe. All these guys came from this door that's way back here that you saw that closed. This gate here actually used to be, and was planned to be, the entrance to get into Max Ramus back in the day, but it was never 100% completed. They had everything there. They had a Zergonaut actually set up back there, which was instanced. These guys just came out of the main building now, by the way. Full inventory again. Oh no, what am I going to do? Get rid of these stupid bone fragments because they're not worth anything. Same with this cape. I'm about to kill the last boss anyway here. He'll normally drop 2 to 3 items, so. Get rid of these 2. Anyway, this version of Rivendare used to be Baron Rivendare. Not anymore. This is Baron Rivendare's son. And he took over this area after the cataclysm happened. But if you notice, my character's getting hit with kind of an aura. This guy used to give off an aura that would actually do a significant amount of damage back in the day. And he doesn't have a chance to drop this mount. By the way, I had this mount back in vanilla. This mount was next to impossible to get. It did not require any training for riding, by the way. Just a thing. But, you know. I actually already have the mount, so... obviously. I had the mount on my main, and I also had it on my hunter, and then later on my death knight.
Statholme will become a paragon of all that is good in this world.
That's right, you give me a tingle.
I respect the power you demonstrate in killing Ramstein. With proper rage backing your actions, I think even the skirt.
Hey,
Were you able to obtain the essences?
farewell.
They're deadly spellcasters.
Have a good one.
Oh my, banshees are very torturous souls.
2 more quests here. How do I not get your quest? Oh, I know why I didn't get your quest.
As the scourge swept through
Because
Statholme,
you want Statholme water, which you can actually pick up in here without a full inventory like me.
and distributed them throughout the city. Unfortunately,
So just need
the
one.
citizens turned into scourge reinforcements before the supplies.
It's kind of funny because it's literally right there. It's like, dude, why don't you just turn around and pick it up yourself? Well, if you do that, give me 10 gold, I'll take it.
We need to have it replicated in mass quantities. Is that the bottle of Statholme holy water? Wait, that's just regular water.
Yep.
Don't play games with those.
Alright, so I am going to Earth now. And I wanted to go, so I'll put the stuff up on the auction house and all that kind of fun stuff. I did want to mention though, if you know anything about the lore behind Statholme, Statholme actually has 1 more hidden, or 2 more hidden gems, other than the Brazier of Invocation and Balsanar's Ruin. You drop them in there, you get a bonus boss for like, you know, like 2 bosses that come up in there, and they're just undead, so you just kill them. Oh, and way back in the day, to get a Tish. It's a staff that Medivh would use. To cleanse it, you actually had to bring the entire staff to Statholme, and you would just ritual summoning in one of the gauntlet areas next to one of the Zuggernauts, and it would summon this pretty difficult boss. You'd have to kill this boss to cleanse the staff in order to actually fully get the entire thing. So it's crazy how much is actually tied into just Statholme alone. Stratholme's got a lot to it. It's really neat.
Would you like to purchase something?
See here, it's also junk that I know that isn't to be sellable because it's sold down. That can't do nothing with. You know, when you pick up sold down items, you can't do anything with them. I still think it's great that I picked up that ring, though. This ring is kind of cool. It isn't terrible to use. It's got some pretty decent stats, so it might actually sell for a decent amount of gold. But I can even sell the mail that I picked up, which is funny. Alright.
Off and away.
So put some stuff here on the auction house. See, after selling all this stuff, I got 34 gold off of that, and you take all the quests in the account. I've made about 100 gold just running in one place, and that's not even including what I picked up off of mobs. So you can get some gold doing that pretty easily. And I'm gonna just kind of put these up for whatever's up there, because I can't be bothered. Key to the city. Can't sell that. Be funny too, though. Oh, something else. A couple other sold down items, I forgot. It happens. That's when you run this stuff as much as I do, you tend to forget certain things. Anyway, this has been a crazy little quick run through some old dungeons and a little bit of lore and a little bit of storytelling for you guys, because I know you guys enjoy this kind of stuff. But I wanted to make sure that I did some of the stuff for you guys, let you guys still see some of the things I do. How I cope with depression and such, and it's kind of fun. I enjoy it. Pull these up here. Boop. Hope you guys enjoy this little run. Anyway, this was Plasticon. This is me signing off. Peace out, y'all. I'll see you guys around. That's it for now. Bye.